Greetings, I am Herbert Erpaderp, and this is the first Ask a Herbert Erpaderp of the new year, this being 2022, the revenge of 2020. I hope everybody had an excellent end of year time, filled with whatever it is you like to do and celebrate. It may be a new year, but there's nothing new about Ask a Herbert Erpaderp. Though we do have a new patron, Matt Hogan. Thank you for your support, I appreciate it. You are helping me to do Herbert Erpaderp things like gluing bits of plastic together and not dying, I guess. If you want to be excellent like Matt Hogan, consider becoming a patron. You'll be able to see my videos a bit early as well as some other things like the occasional poll and voiceover outtakes and some other things. There's a link to Patreon in the description. Thanks again, Matt Hogan. And while I'm not answering questions, I figure I might as well mention that I've got a TikTok account now, if anybody uses that. I don't do any dancing, I don't want to be responsible for what horrors that might cause, but I will be mostly posting quick model clips and whatever else I feel like really. I don't know. I put a link in the description, so go and check it out if you use that app. Let's get to the questions. Trekan Beluvic said, "Hi future Herbert, happy 2022. Did you have a nice Christmas?" I did, it was nice and quiet and there was a bunch of good food, like ham. I probably say it every year, but I really love Christmas ham. Good times. Trekan Beluvic also said, if you could have a hobby-related superpower, would it be super gluing? No. Is that even a superpower? That's not a superpower. I guess it is kinda super though, because it's super glue. Get it? I think if I could have a power though, I would choose the power of an extra arm. With the hand as well, not just an arm that ends in a stump. That wouldn't be so useful. But with the hand, it would be amazing. I've probably said it a million times that I would love to have a third hand while doing modelling tasks. I'm not sure that's a superpower either, more a mutation or something, but I don't care, I want it. M4Sherman Addict said, out of all the paints you've used, what would you say are your favourite colours? Do you mean like which brand of paint has the nicest colours or a particular colour I like? I don't have a specific favourite paint colour, but I am a big fan of pinks and purples. Nobody who's been around my channel for a while would be surprised by that. The man said, is Herbert doing fine? Fine and dandy. Assuming dandy is a good thing, I'm pretty sure it is. Yes, I'm doing fine. Ratto said, what is your favourite cheese? I don't actually know a lot about cheese, and I don't eat that much of it, and there is a whole bunch of it that I haven't tried. Not that I wouldn't like to, I just haven't. So I would say my favourite is the one that's in front of me, but then somebody might put a Kraft single or some of that awful fake cheese in front of me, and that would be very cruel. Lately I have actually been kind of wanting some halloumi. Some places actually offer that on kebabs, but not my local one. So I guess for now, my favourite is halloumi. Christmas Spanish Boy said, would you build another UM Models kit? I'm pretty sure this was asked recently, maybe even more than once. I do have one in my stash somewhere, maybe more than one, I'm not quite sure. The one I'm certain that I do have is a Sherman Calliope, and I will eventually build it, but I do have a probably better Calliope in my stash though, so I think I'll get to that one first. Eventually though, there will be more UM stuff. Hetz's Gunner Hetz said, how are your mice going? They're doing pretty well. The other day I spent a few minutes watching one mouse carry a piece of paper into their little hut, and another mouse bringing the same piece of paper back out, over and over and over. I guess they have a disagreement on interior decoration. It was pretty adorable, but I didn't think to get my phone out and try film it. Usually when I do try to get my phone, they stop whatever it is they're doing anyway. They know. Maybe I should do some more mouse videos at some point though. Trekan Beluvic said, do you like/play board games? I do, both. I don't really get to play them very often, and I'm not such a big fan of board games with really complicated rule sets. I prefer something that's easy to pick up and play. Something a bit more casual. Filthy casual! There actually used to be a really nice board game cafe that served amazing burgers near my friend's place. That was fun. They went out of business a while ago, which I was pretty sad to hear. It's probably a pretty tough business to be in, I would imagine. The people I'm most likely to play board games with have moved interstate, which also sucks, and the second most likely group are the same who I spent New Year's with, and often there would be games played with gatherings like that, but this year there were a few too many people. Obviously COVID has also meant that a lot of that sort of stuff just hasn't been happening. Ratto said, "How was your new year?" It was pretty good. I got to see a bunch of people I haven't seen for a very long time, pretty much since the last New Year's thing at their place in 2019, back in the before times. It was relatively quiet, which is what I like. Good people, good conversations, a couple of ciders and some snacks. I hadn't quite realised just how much I miss that kind of gathering through the COVID times. It was really nice. I hope everybody else's New Year was just as good, or maybe better. M4Sherman Addict said, "Is the flesh weak?" I guess it depends on the context. Compared to a machine? Yes. Compared to other flesh? I don't know, I've got nothing. I suspect this might be some kind of reference that I'm not getting. John the No said, "Is the machine immortal?" I assume this is also some related reference that I'm just not getting. Kind of sounds like some Warhammer cheese. Warhammer fluff is total cheese. Though the answer is, of course, no. The machine is not immortal. I don't know what machine in particular, but none of them are. This is immortal. You'll have to imagine the sound of black metal, because I don't have the right to play their music. It's rather grim and frostbitten. Herchion said, I don't think I'm saying that correctly, but they ask, "Have you been playing any tabletop war games lately?" I sure haven't. Neither I or the friends I might play them with have had the time, or ability to spend any time together really, let alone enough for an actual war game. The logistics can be kinda tricky. It sucks, but that's just the way it is, I guess, when you get old like me. Also, COVID stuff makes it a bit harder to organise as well, even in Australia. Christmas Spanish Boy said, "If the carpet monster is so bad, get rid of it." You say that, but I'm pretty sure you can't just get rid of the carpet monster. I mean, I got rid of my carpet, and that hungry bastard is still there, lurking, eating bits, being a dick. If you can find a way to eliminate the carpet monster, I would really like to know. Just don't drop your parts! Duh! Quiet, you. Ratto said, "How was your Christmas? Did you give or receive any good presents? Any stories to share?" I've already said how my Christmas was. Good, quiet and tasty, and I didn't really have the money to do much gifting this year, and I usually do have a very small Christmas anyway. I don't much care for the commercial aspect of it, but spending time with the people who mean a lot to me is really great. I didn't receive many gifts either, which is totally fine. I did get a bunch of jerky though. Some people really know me and what I like. Most of the gifts I got was money, which isn't quite as thoughtful of a gift, I guess, but it lets me get exactly what I want. I am told that I am kind of hard to buy gifts for. People know that I like models and stuff, but they don't know what models to get. I can understand how it will be kinda tricky. Money is exactly what I needed. So far I've picked up a couple of kits and I'm thinking about getting some better lighting equipment for streams and videos and stuff. I don't think there are really any stories to be had. Nothing that was super memorable, I guess. Otherwise I would have a story. That makes sense, right? Hetz's Gunner Hetz said, "What are your New Year's resolutions for 2022? I haven't really bothered with resolutions for quite a while now. I've never been good at making them, and even worse at sticking to them. And really there's already enough demands and pressure and expectations that you need to meet various goals or whatever in daily life that it doesn't really seem that good an idea to arbitrarily add more." Not a very exciting answer, I guess, but it's the answer I've got. Loki said, "What's a pet you never had in your care that you've wanted to try your hand at keeping?" A quokka. I don't know if that counts, because they're not pets, and it's illegal to even touch them, but look at them. They're adorable. I have looked after other people's snakes and lizards and stuff, so I guess those are also ruled out. I would like to have some kind of lizard though, maybe a Boyd's forest dragon or something like that. I'd also like to have an axolotl. They're pretty cool. I just couldn't keep their water cool enough without expensive chiller equipment, which means I'm probably not going to get one. Christmas Spanish Boy said, "Have you ever seen Top Gear? And if so, what are your thoughts?" I have seen Top Gear. I haven't watched it for a while, but I have seen it, and I'm not into cars at all really, but it did manage to be entertaining enough in spite of that, so I would say I like it, but it's not something I would really go out of my way to watch. There are very few TV shows that I would make time for like that, but if it was on and there wasn't something else I really would prefer to watch, I wouldn't be upset or anything. In the YouTube comment section of last month's Ask a Herbert Erpaderp, Martin Gotham said, "Will the Herbert build his own railway in HO scale?" I would love to, but it's incredibly unlikely. I certainly don't currently have the space for any kind of model railway, and if I did, I think I would choose N-scale. Mostly because I've already got some N-scale stuff, though at this point it's pretty old, so I don't know how good it is. Also, you can just fit more stuff in with N-scale, so you could have more grand scenery in a smaller space, and that really appeals to me. Model trains are way too expensive though, so I'm probably not going to be doing anything in that area anytime soon. Trekan Belovich said, "Hway, Ask a Herbert Erpaderp number 144. If you subtract 75, Ask a Herbert Erpaderp number 144 has the funny sex number. Hway. That isn't a question, but the answer is, of course, nice." Loki said, "For the correct pronunciation of the Hungarian tank names, they should be pronounced in Hungarian. You're welcome." You mean it's that simple? Why didn't I think of that? I'm so stupid. Oh well, I'll know for the future, I guess. P said, "Do you play any MMORPGs or World of Tanks? Have you heard of the upcoming Vietnam War game from Rubicon Models?" I actually try to avoid MMOs. As I get older, I find myself less and less interested in grinding, and grinding is what MMOs are all about, really. Also, I do tend to get addicted to games sometimes. Probably not so much a grindy game anymore, but I did used to play way too much EVE Online, which I'm happy to say I've been winning for quite some years now. And the thing with MMOs is they can take up a lot of time, and I don't really want that. I'd prefer to spend what little time I have in more productive ways. I do occasionally play World of Tanks, but only in a very casual way. Filthy casual! It's far too much of an unrewarding grind to even try to get new tanks, and I get bored of it really quickly. I can't remember when the last time I played it was, and I've not felt the urge to start it up again since. If Barnaby or Danny messaged me saying, "Hey, you want to play World of Tanks?" I probably would, but that would be more because I like playing games with my friends. I don't think I would suggest it myself. Also, I have heard about and seen Rubicon's Vietnam stuff. A lot of the models they've been teasing relating to that look fantastic. It's not my favourite era, and I'd probably not actually play the game, but I'm glad they're doing it. Variety is good, and it means more non-World War II era stuff in 28mm scale, and that's gotta be a good thing. I will certainly be picking up some of those models at some point. And that's it for the questions. Let's have a look at some of the modelling work that's been shared in the Discord community over the last month. First up, Nachtjäger has shared this awesome Gepard, which is the anti-air variant of the Leopard 1. This is an odd-looking beast, in a very interesting way of course. I believe this model is in 1/35th scale, but I don't know any more details beyond that, other than what is obvious, that being that this is a really nice looking model that has clearly been painted very well. Keep up the awesome work. Sneaky Zaku shared some sneaky hobbitses to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the Fellowship of the Ring. I distinctly recall my group of friends being quite excited that it was coming out in cinemas. Damn, I'm old. Anyway, these little figures are really good, and they're very well painted. I'm not sure where they're from. Is this Games Workshop Lord of the Rings stuff? Doesn't really matter, I guess. They still look really good. Graf Pudding finished a bunch of American stuff for Flames of War. These are Bastogne paratroopers. These are all 15mm scale Battlefront stuff, and I really like them. I think the snow looks rather good. Also, here's a recon company, because you've got to be able to do recon. Again, some really nice little models from Battlefront in 15mm scale, and I'm pretty sure I've built these ones myself. And obviously they've been painted very well. Argonaut 248 shared this fishing trawler, which was made as a gift for grandparents. Very nice. I would imagine they really appreciated it. I can't quite make out what the name says. Is it make or mahi or something else entirely? I don't know. Anyway, the model is in 142nd scale, and it has some nice rigging. It's nice to see ships and boats getting some representation. Well done. The Tourette's Gamer shared this Saladin. This is in 135th scale, though I couldn't tell you anything about it beyond that, other than it looks really cool, and that I rather like the paint job. The black and cream, I guess you would call it, is quite an interesting camo scheme, and the vehicle itself is pretty interesting to look at. I believe we might have seen the other Saladin next to this one before. Both are really good. Very nice work. And that's it for the models, and indeed the entire Ask a Herbert Erpaderp for this month. As always, a big thanks to everybody who shares their modelling work over on Discord, everyone who asks questions, my glorious and mighty patrons, of whom the newest is Matt Hogan, who I would like to thank again. I very much appreciate your support. All of you. Ask a Herbert Erpaderp will return next month, so ask your questions now, or later, at your own pace. Be excellent to each other, and have a wonderful day. Farewell.